So, what do we really do here at the Prepared Mind channel? Well, we examine what's going on around the world, right? Hey, I've been watching these great commercials. They have done nothing but irritate me like a foot fungus, maybe jock itch. Here it is, right? Dear CEO, do you even care? They're using kids to push their crap. It's propaganda, it's horseshit advertising. It's a bunch of entitled, angry little kids shooting their mouths off. Of course, an adult somewhere wrote the lines for them, but still, as if they know a damn thing about the environment, business, taxes, regulation, how much cleaner the air and water is compared to when I grew up. They're selfish little shits, and they're the tools of politicians who are taxing and controlling us beyond any level of the past. How about this? How about this for a PSA? Dear Biden, get your hand out of my daddy's ass and do your job, right? Bring American jobs and manufacturing back and stop trying to scare the shit out of people with your bullshit. How about that for a PSA? All right, well, here we are. You may notice something here. Check this out. This is the John Marine Corps flat top. I'm getting serious about it, folks. I trimmed everything up nice and high and tight. All of this right here would fit under a cover so I could stay in reg. I tell you what, though, I've had it with these people, folks. So I'll start with a little bit of news, right? The Pentagon is going to require... They're going to mandate by September 15th that all troops get it. There you go. Enjoy that one, right? And as you know, I'm not live. Well, I'm live. I'm right now. I'm live. I'm animated. But you guys can't come and participate with me. YouTube still has not let me out of the crib. I'm still not out of my timeout in the corner. So I got this message from Mike. He says, hey, John, pre-recorded show is plenty fine. Live is always nice. We're grateful to get whatever we can. Thank you for the continued best efforts of you and the team. You mean the world to us. It's such a fitting, weird dynamic and sign of the times to connect on such a level with someone I don't actually know. You're a brother from another mother, Semper Fi. Let me tell you this, though, Mike. What I get from you and everyone else out here, I get messages all day with thank yous, and I same thing. This is an incredible dynamic. What is this? Bizarre. All right, they're trying to hack into my computer. Too bad. I got you. We caught you. Yeah. Anyways, it's all of us working together. Let me. Okay. Quiet things down around here. I am off the hook, pissed, but I'm going to remain calm. There'll be no ranting. But I do have your questions. I'm going to go through a lot of my information. Then I'm going to get to your questions that you all sent into Jolene. And we'll get in an hour. And I'm sure by tomorrow, I'll be back up live everywhere. We've got an additional now, a fourth backup channel, in addition to our secret channel. We're not quitting, folks, because you guys are supporting all of this. I'm not quitting. I'm not going away. They can't stop us. I've had it with their shit. They're going to lose this battle. They're pissing everyone off. There's going to be hell to pay, folks. But let's go over and take a look at France. They got basically a dystopian world. Some might say nightmare. The police in France are now going from restaurant to restaurant checking cerveza bug passports. There's not real criminals in France. There's not human trafficking, prostitution, drugs. There's none of that. There's no murder, theft. No. Anyone? Incredible. You can tell how politicized everything is because that has become their priority. You can tell what's important, what the agenda is by the priority government puts on things. This is stunning that they won't just rely on businesses to police themselves. It's incredible, folks. It's going to cause nothing but trouble, and it's coming, folks. It's coming. Get this, right? In Austin, Texas, a judge, oh, by the way, he's a Democrat, has signed an order blocking the arrest of the criminal Texas lawmakers. See, the governor or nobody, Speaker of the House in Texas, doesn't have the authority to do anything except make an arrest. You can't just compel people. You either arrest them or you don't, right? It's an arresting power. They violated the law. That means a warrant for their arrest has been granted. So a chicken shit judge, who is a Democrat, by the way, they're good at chicken shit, has said, hey, we're going to block this. Well, I'm sorry, folks, right? This can be run upstairs to the appellate court, or better yet, the state Supreme Court of the Republic of Texas. The governor, folks, has the authority to enforce the rules on public servants. These are public servants who have intentionally abandoned their post to the detriment of the voters of Texas. They have disenfranchised with their absence all voters in Texas, not just in their own districts. And in such criminal state, they're operating in a state of criminality, lawlessness, that the Speaker of the House, the governor, have the right, the power, and the authority to go get them, which they've done. And a little chicken shit judge. See, everyone is supposed to be afraid of lawyers and afraid of DAs, because they can file lawsuits, right? There's hell to pay, folks, because here's where it is. This is where the rubber meets the road. If this is a justice system, then there needs to be justice in it. If there's no justice in the legal system, then we may as well revert to the Second Amendment. And that's where this is going. You either have law and order or you don't. Democrats don't get to choose which law and order is important to them. They've been doing it, and they're pushing their luck. Now, I'm not prescribing violence. This isn't hate speech. This is talking about law and order and what's happening. This country is completely running on partisan sides. You've got regular, normal people, Republicans, trying to maintain civility and law and order. And then you've got Democrats over here, these leftist, socialist scumbags. Enough said. Let us move on. Tyson Foods, they make a lot of chicken, right? Are they number one or are they number two as far as chicken producers, right? Chicken fryers, breasts, chicken fingers, buffalo wings, right? They're the biggest chicken producer in the country. Guess what they're saying? Their costs are rising faster than they can hike prices. In other words, let's say they sell chicken for $3 a pound out the back door. Grocery store sells it to you for $4 a pound. Well, they're selling it for $3 a pound, but it's now costing them too much just to grow that chicken. What do you think that means? When the costs are rising faster than they can raise the prices, that means hyperinflation is occurring, folks. Hyperinflation is occurring. My recommendation, well, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. You better have it, folks. And right now, if food is going to go up 20% this year, holy cow. Think about if your stock portfolio went up 20% a year. You would be dancing, you doing fucking jig, yeah, 20%. Your food costs are going to go up 20%. Buy food. It's a better investment than Wall Street, which is sitting close to the top. And right now, I've got Crispy Bacon and many other financial experts that are saying it's going to get funky because eviction moratoriums are coming off, mortgage payments. We're going to have no more stimmy checks. We're going to get rid of all this welfare state stuff. Can't afford it. Doesn't make any sense. Too burdensome. And the shoe's going to drop, folks. It's going to drop. Calm down, John. It's going to drop, and we're going to get another wave of shit going on. We're going to get it, folks. Especially if they combine it with something like, I don't know, rolling blackouts, banking problems. How about maybe we need some additional pressure and stress put on Americans? You know, in addition to the thing which I dare not breathe a word about. You know, how about a nice cyber attack? All right, get this, folks. Bam! Carbon County, Wyoming. I thought we were supposed to be on a carbon-free path, and now they've named a county after carbon? I guess there was a time in life when they realized that we, carbon-based life forms who eat carbon-based plants and carbon-based cows, believed that carbon was a good thing. Anyways, Carbon County, Wyoming, the Republicans there passed a unanimous resolution to rescind recognition of Liz Cheney, rhino scumbag, as a Republican. They're calling on the House leader, that's McCarthy, to remove her from all her committee assignments. They said she's no longer a Republican. This is getting good, folks. People are fighting back. And we've been talking about this grassroots movement, not the leadership at the top, which is few and far in between. By the way, we here on Patreon, Jolene posted, and thank you, Leanne, for getting a nice little talk out by Rand Paul. Apparently, he can talk on YouTube, but I can't. Anyways, the leadership, with the exception of a very few, sucks in the Republican Party up in D.C. Getting rid of these scumbags is paramount. And it's happening. It's happening in the voting booth. Gee, I wonder why they're so upset about those rules. It's happening in the parties, right? The Republican local civics organizations. Getting rid of them, folks, one at a time. And kudos, God bless you, to Carbon County, Wyoming. Now, this Department of Homeland Security warning came out, and it's warning of an increasing threat of violence from Trumpers. It's an increasing threat. So let's go with the English language here. There's a threat. Apparently, a threat has been made by Trump supporters. I didn't know that there was a threat from Trump supporters. I know there's threats from Antifa and threats from BLM, and we see that those threats actually have violent responses or repercussions and consequences. And Portland, Oregon, this weekend, attacking women and children with flashbangs, chemical agents, assault, theft, destruction of property. But anyways, let's get back to the real dangerous people. The threat of increasing violence, even though there's no evidence of a specific plot, it's just an increasing threat. Okay, so here's the quote from these assholes. The department does not have the luxury of waiting till we uncover information with the level of specificity regarding a potential location and the time of an attack to act on potential threats due to the threat environment, said a senior DHS official, Department of Homeland Security. Quote, past circumstances have illustrated that calls for violence could expand rapidly in the public domain and may be occurring outside of publicly available channels. As such, lone offenders and small groups of individuals could mobilize to violence with little to no warning. That's what the bulletin says. So essentially, folks, they have no evidence. They just have their fear. They say that stuff's going on behind the scenes, even though they have no evidence. They have no evidence, but they're pretty sure there's stuff going on, right? So that means there's no culprit, no perpetrator, no suspect or suspects. But they can't wait They don't have luxury of that, folks. They don't have that. So beforehand, right? They don't have the luxury of evidence. So they should act now to potential threats because of the increasing threats of violence that aren't being expressed in publicly available channels. So will they arrest people on websites, on forums who are promoting the idea of Trump reinstatement, or those who are saying violence is a good thing? So there's no crime, but now we have pre-crime arrests that are going to be okay. Why not arrest those who call for crime and terror, who have a real history of actually doing it, both planning publicly, calling for protests, turning into violent actions where they assault police, assault citizens, destroy businesses, loot businesses, burn businesses, murder people, assault, injure, and even kill and maim police officers. That's not Trump supporters. That is Antifa and BLM. It is so one-sided. It is so fucking obvious at this point what the government's agenda is. It is coming after you. You had best be ready. When they finally do it, folks, and I don't know where they're going to start, whether they start in Mississippi or start up in Chicago, you know, where this weekend they had an average of 4 shootings an hour. 4 shootings an hour once they started in Chicago this weekend. No, that's not what's coming. That's what they just did. In other words, you know where the shooting's at. You know where the violence is at. Go fix that. Absolutely stunning what is going on in our country, folks. Off the hook. Stupid. Now, get this. France. I don't know how they got this number. 237,000 protesters who don't want to have a passport. And they're chanting, "We want our freedom." Folks, this is going to get louder and uglier. Where's Antifa when there's 237,000 screaming Frenchmen saying, "We want freedom"? What is it that Antifa wants? Oh, yeah, communism. There's no freedom in communism. Antifa didn't have a thing to do with these passport protests. That was just France, folks. That was just France. Crazy. It's gonna get nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. All right, moving along. I got a lot of stuff to cover, folks. The governor of Georgia, the great state of Georgia, been Republican red for decades. Poof. Right? Somehow managed to elect a rhino Republican governor. I think America has discovered what rhinos are and how much they suck. See, basically, the Republicans, in name only, rhino, but they tend to vote Democrat on social spending to attract more voters. You see, that's their game. They want to take your money and give it to someone else and then pretend like they care. And then say, "See, doesn't that make you feel better?" Anyways, he got up on stage, tried talking publicly. Good old Brian Kemp, governor of Georgia. You know, like I said, now these rhinos are tricky. They'll do something every now and then that'll make you happy. And you're like, "I guess, see, governor, Republican, yay, go team." Wave your little flag, right? There was a Georgia Republican Party event that was hosted on Saturday, and he was booed by the crowd. Thank God the crowd knew exactly who he was. Let's see, Brian Kemp booed in Georgia and called a sack of shit. And that was posted on Twitter by someone whose handle was Unconscious Black Conservative. I love it, folks. Everyone has had it. Everyone has had it. And this is a Chandler Crump. Appears to be, if I look at his picture, must be another black conservative. He says, "I have yet to attend a Brian Kemp speech where he hasn't been booed off the stage." He's going to be in big trouble. Big, big, big trouble in the next election. He's not going to be sitting in there as the incumbent Republican that everyone loves. No, no, no. He's going to have his hands full. Now, reality, not reality. Reality, not reality, right? Pea and shell game. The Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is going to be a super spreader event. And the poor people of Sturgis, they can't stop it. Can you believe, folks, after how many decades of Sturgis, hundreds of thousands of fucking hogs rolling in, after this many decades, the people of Sturgis aren't aware there's going to be a motorcycle rally? The people of Sturgis aren't used to dealing with it. The people of Sturgis don't see the Sturgis as a money-making fiasco of gargantuan proportions. Oh, they know what it is. Do you think the people of Sturgis don't want it? You think they're afraid? Folks, get this. They weren't afraid last year either. You think they're going to be afraid this year after nothing happening last year, them calling it a super spreader event, right? So Sturgis is a super spreader event, but there's no problem with the open border down south where hundreds of thousands of Mexicans from Mexico, illegal, undocumented, are coming and just being allowed in the country. Welcome to America. Here's a handful of cash, bus ticket to wherever you want to go. Start sneezing now. Oh, and also President Barack Hussein Barry Soetoro, Obama's birthday this weekend. Yeah, the bash. Hundreds of people inside a tent, folks, not outside. Not outside with fresh air and a nice breeze to blow the cerveza bug away. Nope, nope, nope. Indoor bash, hundreds of people, no masks. That wasn't a super spreader event. But Dr. Fauci says Sturgis is going to be a super spreader event. You figure out what that means. All right, now this is a sad story. I had to get to this one. In Chicago this week, I said, look, 4 shootings an hour. 2 of them were cops. One is in critical condition. I think he's in the ICU. The other one is dead. It's a female police officer. She's got like a 3-month-old daughter, shot and killed at a traffic stop. Doing a simple traffic stop. Can I see your driver's license? Proof of insurance. Oh, that's a nice gun you have. Ouch, you just shot me and killed me. When is it going to be enough? Well, Mayor Beetlejuice had the bug-eyed balls to go to the hospital and try and make an appearance. These sick bastards in power, folks. They have no sense of shame for the shit they do. She got her face chewed off. Let me rephrase that. I don't think he touched her. He yelled at her. Her father, I believe, who is a retired CPD, gave her an earful of his opinion. And then she tried talking to the police officers who apparently, as if they were trained and waiting for the moment, did an about face and turned their back on the ugly little bitch. They know who the problem is, folks. We know who the problem is. The police know who the problem is. It's the political leaders who have taken away their authority to do their job. It's the district attorneys who refuse to prosecute. And it is the judges who give lenient sentences. Let's see, you've done 3 days in jail while waiting for this court trial. Good enough. Don't murder anyone anymore. Off you go. I know where this ends. I know how this ends. I know how this has to play out. That's why I am a prepper. All right. And by the way, I am enjoying sporting this particular flat top. I was talking about the runaway Democrats from Texas earlier. You know what they did? They filed a lawsuit for ordering their arrest, saying they're suffering from much anxiety and stress. Did you realize, folks, that people in government are suffering from much anxiety and stress? And therefore, they can violate the law. They can commit crimes. They can abandon their duty, their office. They can just say, never mind about my oath. I'm not going to do my job. They violate their oaths. They violate the law. And they're offended at justice and claim this, folks. We are a protected class. I am disgusted at these Fucking pigs. That's what they are, folks. They're pigs. They're ruining this country, and they're spitting in everyone's faces. They're crapping in everyone's homes. They are suffering from anxiety and stress. Did they lose a penny of their government public servant paycheck? Did they not get their free health insurance? Did they not get all of their benefits, their paid time off, their vacation pay? Did they not get a big, nice, juicy leather seat to shine with their big fat asses? Just a question. Just a question. Just a question. A protected class. They need to be protected, all right. The people is who they need protection from, not Governor Abbott. They need protection from the peepers, the people. Yeah, I tell you. Let's get at it. Paris, popping. Germany, Italy, Ireland, England, Australia, America is starting to wake up. It's about fucking time. But it's just going to get worse, folks. I want to thank Lad for getting me some great articles. I need to go through them. Everything, folks, I have to double check, make sure we're all good. I've got stuff, and you're on Patreon right now. Thank you for coming here and signing up. It's only $2 a month. You can do 3, 4, 5, 10, 20. I don't care what you do. But it's a $2 minimum to get you in, signed up here, and you get all the shows all week. You get the Worldwide Weekly Wrap-Up on Saturday. You get the Zoo, of course, and there's some articles, folks. There's topics I can't talk about. That's why I had all 3 of the Prepared Mind channels taken down. Not permanently. And if I'm going to continue to fight, I guess I'm going to have to fight with one hand and half my brain tied behind my back. I'm going to take that from Rush Limbaugh. I can take these people on with half my fucking brain tied behind my back, right? We've all been traumatized. We've all been traumatized by Cerveza-Buck. We've all been traumatized by life. We've all been attacked, picked on, whatever, right? And we can still see through their shit. They're propagandizing us 24/7. And we can see right through it. We've got superpowers, folks, to see their lies for what they are. I've got stuff that I put on Patreon, folks, that I just cannot put on here and talk about live. We are working on that, Jolene and I. And we've got three different social media platforms we can broadcast through that allow us to say what we want. So we're looking into that. A lot to do, but let's do this. There is something that reminds me of the 1990s. There was a group called the Freemen. It kind of basically came out of Montana. Their interest was teaching people about, I don't know, Constitution, law. Anyway, there's now a group called Restore Liberty. It's out west. And it's starting to teach people that the Constitution grants limited authority to the government. It's something that I like. When the government is limited, we have more freedom. Our liberties are supposed to be preeminent, not government sovereignty. So the promotion of our rights and the federal government's limited authority is going to become popular. This, believe it or not, folks, is how the discussion started. In churches, in pubs, taverns, bars, as well as in lodges all over colonial America when the British were getting out of control. The King of England was being a prick. The governors who were at the let's just use the term beck and call of the king. They swore an oath to the king, not to the Constitution, not to the people, but to the king. Kind of like how Justin Trudeau, the little pile of shit up in Canada, swears an oath to the Queen, not to the people who elected him, not to the nation that he serves, not to their Constitution, their laws, but to the Queen. Well, the governors in colonial America swore an oath to the king, and then they started abusing the people, and the people started having public meetings, church meetings, bar meetings, as well as lodge room meetings. Anywhere that there was a gathering of citizens, people, they started talking about being free. And all of this information is available, folks. It's available because we have, oh yeah, well, we had a First Amendment. We had freedom of speech, freedom to petition the government, freedom to peaceably assemble. Peaceably assemble. That's a right. It's a liberty. It's freedom. We can share information. We don't have to accept anyone's truth but our own. Isn't that interesting, though? We don't have to accept anyone's truth but our own. But what are they doing? They're removing any other truth that's available. So there is only one truth that is being discussed, and it's not my truth. The government is all powerful and they have all the rights. So they're starting to talk about the restoration of liberty again, starting to discuss limited government. Joe Rogan, who I don't think is the most intelligent guy. He's certainly entertaining, and I'd probably have a beer with him. Decent enough fellow, but I don't. I mean, he does some great stuff. He's an incredible show host. He's built an empire around his face, the Joe Rogan Show. Right? He's done a marvelous job. There is absolutely no doubt. I don't agree with things that here we go. He supported Bernie Sanders. How fucking stupid is he, right? As stupid as that is, maybe he was stoned out of his mind. And anyways, gotta love Joe Rogan. I do. I really do love watching him do MMA interviews and broadcast commentary. Love him. He's a great guy, but just not the sharpest knife in the drawer. But even he notices, and I'm picking on him a little bit for the purpose of quoting what he says. We're one step closer to a dictatorship. That's what the fuck is happening. He's discussing passports. That's what he's discussing. We're one step closer to a dictatorship. That's what the fuck is happening. So Joe Rogan, love him or hate him. Joe Rogan, smart guy, funny guy, or kind of a box of rocks. I guess it depends on how much weed he smoked. Even he can see it, folks. We're talking about it. People are having meetings about freedom. People are protesting around the world. People have had enough. Parents are telling school boards to get their shit together. Governors are trying to arrest wayward Democrats who are violating the law. There's a taxi in St. Louis that will not allow people who are vaccinated to get into it, nor wear masks in his car. I think that's just all very interesting to talk about. And I think I'm going to hit this one. I can't do it. I can't talk about this one. I can't talk about it. Shit. I tell you, it is just pissing me off. Mike Rowe. I loved watching Mike Rowe when he did Dirty Jobs. His great voice, funny guy, good color. He has an interesting personal philosophy. Found out later, he did the voice of Ford trucks for years and years. Turns out he's a conservative guy. In other words, he has a brain and he thinks for himself. But he says, stop treating the unvaccinated like the enemy. Thank you, Mike Rowe. Cerveza sneeze. Now we're going to get to your questions. And where are they at? There they are. And John Lord, thank you for sending me all that stuff. I'm going to have to go through that. You see, I don't have a life, folks. I don't have a life. This is a question from Gator. Can John give advice on bunkers and design of them? A bunker tour would be great too. I will not be doing a bunker tour the same way I didn't do a tour of my fifth wheel. It's just too personal. Just too personal. But I can give advice on bunkers. The concept or purpose of the bunker, of course, is to provide safe protection from just about all manner of attack. The ideal bunker is bulletproof. The ideal bunker is well insulated, so it's easier to keep cool in the summer and keep warm in the winter. The ideal bunker is hidden. It can be hidden in plain sight, or it can be hidden literally, like I am in this. When you do a culvert bunker, see, culvert is designed to be under the ground, buried completely, very well secured, right? Very bulletproof, very well insulated, very well hidden. There's square bunkers, there's pre-made bunkers, you can make your own, there's designs on the internet. Advice on bunkers. Fireproof is very important also. To fireproof your bunker, your home, whatever, to the extent having fire extinguishers is critical. But if you're going to do something like this, it's going to cost you some money. It's going to cost quite a bit of thinking. It's going to take some planning. For example, if I'm underground, when I flush a toilet or wash my hands down here, the water has to go down. It can go into a collection tank, and you can have a manual or electric pump to lift the waste water, the gray water or the separated water, lift it off and put it out on top of the ground outside. Or you have to have an even deeper leach field system set up that perks properly. And of course, everything, folks, needs to go through the building department, because we do not violate the law when we discuss things. So wastewater is a big deal. Getting water into it's a big deal. You still need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. It's the shelter part, right? But food. So if you're going to have a living area for, say, you, your spouse, and 2 children, it needs to be big enough to accommodate 4 beds, some sitting area. Food preparation, you need to have adequate ventilation, right? Every now and then you see me sweating pretty good. Ventilation is never perfect. Having a fan is great, kind of moves the air, but a well-designed ventilation system that's adjustable is highly recommended. Burning candles, lamps, and other things consume oxygen. So having a carbon monoxide filter is critical in case you are burning up more oxygen than is being rotated in through the ventilation system. One of the problems with any bunker is power. If you have a generator, it's going to make noise. It's going to attract attention. If you have solar panels, they're pretty easy to see. They can be hidden on top of, say, a simple lean-to style structure that doesn't look like it's anything important, right? And if it's fairly flat, no one can see the panels, right? Say it's 24 by 24, it just looks like a carport, and the panels are kind of up on top and hidden on the inside, so no one can see it. They're kind of put towards the center. It doesn't take many panels to create enough electricity to give you the things you need, like some cooking, some electricity for electronics, some lights. LED lights don't take hardly any power now. So having a bunker, it's going to cost you a lot of money. You need land, you need the raw materials, you need to be able to finish it, you need to worry about water in. You may want to keep your water stored underground, and it can be also buried water. And you don't need big flows of water. You just need water and storage. 1,000-gallon tank would be nice, right? Buried next to the bunker with a pipe leading out of it into the bunker. Gravity feed, very nicely worked. And things up top can be well camouflaged. Well camouflaged. You could have a piece of shit old fifth wheel or trailer that looks like, some person that nobody ever wants to bother lives in. And the entrance to your bunker could be hidden through the floor or something else. Anyways, being creative. Advice on bunkers: do all that you can. Now, you may not have an underground bunker. You may not have a yurt. You may not have what I used to have, which is a grade 60 concrete reinforced, steel concrete, just a huge, I had a bunker. The palatial mansion was a fucking concrete, shit it's the fan bunker. And they come in many shapes and sizes. A regular house can become a bunker if you fortify it. You get sandbags filled with sand and put them in front of the walls that are face the street or the most likely avenue of approach of the enemy, provide you cover while you provide someone else with a very excitable, fast argument. All right, let's move on if we shall. We got Sally Sue says, what is your opinion on the infallibility and inspired nature of the Bible? So many have used various interpretations to predict the end of the world as we know it. How can we really know that these writings are a message from God, and how can we use them to ready ourselves for what SHTF will bring? Well, the only infallibility I know has been that claimed by the Pope and for the Pope in the Catholic Church. The people who wrote the Bible were human beings. It was inspired by the will of the Creator, and they recorded as best they could their thoughts, history, etc. And of course, they were dealing, folks, and I hate to bring this up, but I have to bring this up because it is critical. They needed to sanitize parts of the New Testament so that the Romans would not outlaw Christianity. So they made it neutral, right? Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, that sort of thing. But so I won't say it's infallible. I will say it's inspired. If you've ever sat around and thought about things spiritual or things secular, and an idea came to you, an epiphany, it's like, where did that come from? An idea, a thought that is so pure and so right, you just know, right? It had to come from somewhere else. I mean, that's the sort of thing going on here. How can we really know these writings are a message from God? You just know it. In your bones, you know it. Your faith, you feel it. Your mind understands it. It's a truth in the philosophical sense versus a fact, which is something external. Truth is up here. Facts are out there. Wow, I've never thought of it that way. Little epiphany from me right there. Truth is in here. Facts are out there. I like that. Should write a book on that. Anyways, you know the truth when you hear it and you see it. You know, right? And right now we're seeing a lot of the things that were written about. Now, this idea that, if we're talking about the book of Revelations, the end times, the end of the world as we know it, you can also refer to the book of Daniel in the Old Testament, covers a lot of the same material. It's important stuff. It has kept people prepared, if you will, understanding not the specific actions on a day-to-day, but the pattern of human behavior and what they do. You just see it right in there. The book, the Bible, speaks of governments and leaders, politicians. We call them politicians today. Kings, Caesars, leaders, governments, kingdoms, empires. Right now we have a world global empire being run by some very unscrupulous, completely corrupt scumbags. And it falls right in line with what's in the Bible in many ways. There's only so many ways to destroy humanity. So you got your four horsemen, right? War, famine, pestilence, plague, right? All that stuff. Death. And what do they want? They want those things. They love war. Apparently they love pestilence. They love death. Right? Abortion advocate Democrats, they love death. They sell death. It's incredible. So that's how I know. It's very personal, folks. I can't tell you and make you believe. You can't tell me and make me believe. We have to feel and experience it for ourselves. I call it, I'm not necessarily a Gnostic, right? Some people would say I'm agnostic. I have my belief, my Christian faith, all that stuff, how I see the world. We all see it. We all have the truth, right? And when you grow up, if you're a Catholic or if you're a Lutheran or if you're a Southern Baptist, you get a religious education, but you come to know the truth through your own eyes and your faith and your heart and your experience. So anyways, as far as I'm concerned, whether you have the New International Version, the King James Version, or the Catholic version of the Holy Bible, or some other version, because there's many versions, they all pretty much have the same story. And I don't think quibbling over a couple of Aramaic symbols is going to make a difference now. I think we pretty much all see where the fuck this is going. Let us move on. Wondering what you think will happen August 11th with the emergency alert system. This is from Not You. And the wireless alert system test. I'm hearing it may last up to 5 minutes and might require restarting devices when done. Your thoughts? Too many rumors. Too much expectation, too much fear, too much too much of everything. Folks, I am always ready. As ready as I can be, always. I just can't. I'm not going to put my faith in something happening, right? I know the sun will rise every day, so I can count on that. I know government is corrupt, so I can count on that. I know that they need to control us more and scare us and frighten us and hurt us, so I can count on that. August 11th, they're going to do something with the emergency alert system. I can count on them doing something. I just don't know what is going to happen. That's why I have a plan, along with food, shelter, water, clothing, all that. I have a plan. If something goes haywire, the lights go out, they make an announcement, something crazy in the world happens, I am prepared to take remedial action in order to protect myself. And I recommend everyone do that as well. But don't put all of your hope into something good happening. And if something good happens, right? Party all the time, right? But that's only if something good happens. Something bad could happen. Maybe nothing happens. But looking at something like that, one day, one time, one date, and saying, I'm putting all of my optimism on that, right? I'm all in on that. It has to happen. Something good has to happen. Folks, something good is happening every day. You're alive and you understand what's going on and you have a chance to deal with this. I think we're doing good. Bonnie Blue has this question. In the context of this morning's video of refusal of Portland police to respond to attacks and the theft and of Christian prayer group by Antifa and Black Bloc, in context of Washington State's new law that does not allow police to respond without evidence, no longer is there a reasonable suspicion threshold for the police to have to show up. In context of San Francisco allowing shoplifting theft of up to $950, and that's basically statewide, folks, in California. When does government inaction and refusal to fulfill duties actually cross the line and become state-sponsored criminal terrorism? That's a great question, and it's a great topic, and we do broach this quite often. I will not say that it is state-sponsored criminal terrorism, but I do believe that there is crime here, literal crime. There is a violation of an oath. I believe an oath has to have a penalty. You swear an oath. There's consequences for failing that oath. Now, if I'm driving my car and I'm driving down the street and I decide to put on sunglasses at night, right? And I've got, say, kids in the back seat, kids in the car. I am putting them in danger, and I'm putting other people on the road in danger, right? Now, let's just say I've got a bottle of scotch, and I'm going to start drinking the bottle of scotch while wearing sunglasses, driving at night through a section of town that has a lot of pedestrians all over the place because it's a nightlife center, right? Nightclubs, restaurants, right? I'm endangering everybody. I am putting people in danger. I'm doing it intentionally. I know better, and even if I pretended like I didn't know better, you still aren't allowed, folks. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. The governors the mayors, the chiefs of police, the lieutenants, and the sergeants, whoever is the one saying we're not going to respond, it's dereliction of duty. It's putting people's lives in danger intentionally. They are purposefully not doing their job. Dereliction of duty. It is a crime, in my opinion, because they're intentionally doing it, not responding to a crime. A report of a crime doesn't make it a crime. It's a report of a crime. So they attend to that. They're supposed to show up. Now, if someone said, there's a guy with a gun out here shooting, will the cops show up? Probably. If I were to run into a bunch of these black bloc creeps, Antifa, BLM, I would probably see one of them, because they've been carrying pistols, shotguns, and rifles. I would be letting the police know right away there's someone out here in public acting threatening, making violent threats, and they have weapons. The police would probably show up. Now in Portland, I guess maybe they won't. They do have fiduciary duties. They have all of the duties, and they're failing to do it, and I believe it's a crime. I really do. When are they going to be held accountable for their crimes, for the corruption that is just so in our faces? Well, what we've seen in Texas is a good start. The governor and the Speaker of the House in Texas saying, you're not going to do your job. You're not going to live up to your oath. You have a duty to perform. And so we're going to arrest you. I think they should be charged with crimes. They have knowingly committed their job, committed a crime. They have knowingly failed, intentionally failed. There's intent to cause harm. These Democrats want people like this Christian group to be hurt. They want other Trump supporters to be hurt. So by withdrawing the police and allowing and encouraging Antifa and BLM and Black Bloc types to assault people, right? That is a serious conspiracy on their part. They are acting in a form of collusion with criminals who know they will not be in trouble, because there is a pattern of behavior on the part of the politicians, city councils, the police, to allow this crime to happen. I believe the district attorneys also should be held accountable. I also believe that these judges in the criminal courts need to be held accountable for their failure to do their jobs. They've been charged, folks. Right? When you commit a crime, they charge you with a crime. When you take public office, you are given a charge, a duty. You're charged with. That is now your job. You must do it. Two Owls says this: I think I'm going to stay out of the way. I feel like God is about to have his say. Thank you, Two Owls. I tell you what, we all play our parts in this game, in this drama, in this tragedy. If you feel inspired to participate, you do. I don't recommend people run out in the street and play Rambo. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend that people run around and get vengeance. I believe the proverb is, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So you don't have to do it. It gets taken care of, folks, whether you want to call it karma or justice. But staying out of the way, it's not a bad move. There's other people, and you may think you're going to stay out of the way and you'll get involved. You may think you're going to get involved and then stay out of the way. Circumstances will dictate. All right. We've got Kevin with a question. He says, do you believe all the censorship, talk of digital money controlled by the government, and any other infringement on our rights is leading up to a form of social credit score like they have in China? The answer is yes. They want to do that. They already have it. They're getting us used to the idea that if you don't perform or behave well, you're going to be punished. People are going to know about your political beliefs. People are going to know that you did not take a knee. People are going to know that you supported Trump. People are going to know that you didn't send money to BLM. People are going to know. I mean, that's it. Okay, so now you know that about me. Fuck off, is what you should be thinking, or words to that effect. A lot of people aren't quite as crass as I am. But here's where they tie it to the money and to shopping, buying and selling, going to business, work, right? Having social life, even participating in government activity. They're now talking about you need a passport to go to the hospital. Or if you go to the hospital without one, they're going to make sure you get one on the way out. If you get my drift. They're trying to push their agenda on us. And it is a multifaceted agenda, and social credit score is something I believe that they want to have in place as we start Cerveza bug, SHTF, wave after wave after wave, violence, chaos, mayhem, political bullshit, lying, cheating, and stealing. And they want to come out the other end with everyone exhausted. Everyone saying, look, we'll just do whatever you say, just give us our lives back. And they never will, folks. They may take their foot off your neck for a little while, let you breathe a little easier, but they're not going to go away. And when it's all said and done, they want to have a social credit score in place, a central bank digital currency. They will want to have a social paradigm cast. They want to have all the history rewritten. They want to have the Constitution thrown out. They're going to want everyone trained to think and act exactly as they are ordered. They want to be able to continue to do this as well, folks. They want to be able to continue to lie on a daily basis. They want to lie on a daily basis and have you believe whatever the lie is. Sounds a lot like Joseph Goebbels, Minister of Propaganda for the Nazi Party. They want it to be the way Lenin and Trotsky had it in mind in the Soviet Union. Everything they say is the truth because the state is infallible. And that's what they want. That is what they want. Now, final question. David G has this question. He says, the Senate looks like they're going to pass the infrastructure bill. Lots of GOP sellouts. That's right. Republican sellouts, Rhino sellouts. What is in the bill that we don't know about? What are they? What are we missing that they are distracting us from due to the hype of the jibber jab BS? Yeah, isn't that interesting how we are really focused on the jibber jab coming from lips? What's really in the infrastructure bill? It is a massive social spending program. It is. It's really what it is. It's the authorization for the government to spend more money, and it doesn't legitimize the government, folks, but it has the appearance of legitimization. They want it to appear legitimate, right? The government is doing what it's supposed to be doing proper, and that they're following the rules. Once again, it's incredible how, right? They want us to believe they're doing everything by the rules, while you and I see out here going, what fucking rules are left? And nobody is obeying them, right? The Constitution, forget it. We'll just come up with a super multi-trillion dollar infrastructure bill. They want the Green New Deal. They want United Nations to have special powers. They want the military revamped. The world of tomorrow is going to, in their opinion and in their design, be nothing like the world that we grew up in. That's where they're pushing. Remember the Great Reset? How come the media stopped talking about it? We still talk about it, but the media stopped talking about it again. It's because it's being implemented. They don't want to bring Klaus Schwab up and put him on all of the major broadcasts to explain how they want to destroy our Constitution. It's not just the United States, folks, but Canada, Australia, Ireland, England, France, Germany, all of Europe. They want to destroy everyone's rules, whether you call it a constitution or by whatever name they go, right? A rose is a rose. If it's the rules of the game, they want to just be done with it. Spain, you don't have any rules. We'll tell you what the rules are as we go. And they need that. They need us believing this and then believing the exact opposite the next day. They need us to have that flexibility, or to be that dizzy and stoned, right? I don't mean stoned by weed. I mean stoned like you've been hit in the head too many times with a stone, and you don't know where the hell you're at or what to believe. And you're just like, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. And then the next day back over here again, okay, that's fine. That's what they want. They want the people just out of their minds and just wanting. Right? I mean, a last example, and then I'll let you go. Spin yourself in circles for 60 seconds. Just spin yourself in circles. Typically, people just fall down. They get really dizzy and fall down. You can't see straight. You can't really think straight. You have no coordination. You don't know from what direction anything's coming. You're dizzy. You've spun yourself in circles for a minute. The only thing you're really thinking about is, I need everything to stop spinning so I can think straight. They have got us dizzy from spinning us. That's what they call political talk. Spin. They put a spin on it. That's their spin. That's their spin. They're going to put some spin on this, some spin. It's bullshit. It's lies. It's corruption. It's dishonesty. It's deceit. That's what they do, folks. That is absolutely what they do. As soon as YouTube turns the channels back on, I will do a short live broadcast to make sure all the buttons work, that everything is set properly. And then we will continue doing what we do, despite what YouTube thinks, despite what Google thinks, Facebook, Twitter, screw them all. We're going to keep doing what we do, and that's getting people to wake up, think for themselves, and get prepared. Because chance favors the prepared mind, folks. Is yours. Godspeed, Semper Fi.